Hey everybody, Max here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Action Force Maritime Corps Trooper. I'm kind of going against what I said in a previous video, which was I was going to take a break from some Action Force figures for a while, given the issues, the QC issues that I've had, and I talked about those in other videos. On a whole, Series 5 is pretty good. I've had an issue with the Recon Corps Trooper, which I've detailed in a couple of videos, and there's been a few tweaks or issues here and there with some of the Series 5 figures. But on a whole, I really like the Wave. It's pretty good. But given the trouble that I had with this particular base body, now this is essentially Senshi, and this arm had issues with the peg holes. I had issues with the hips. On the Recon Corps Trooper, a split in the shoulder. Yes, they gave me a replacement, everything. So I was a little hesitant, but I was taking a look at the website. They had a sale going on, and I completely missed it. I mean, everything was gone. It was like a wounded warrior sale, or they were putting up the convention exclusive, the new Series 5 steel core figure, and completely missed it. I mean, it was gone in just minutes, and I just was kind of like, I want to get something, like, I mean, initially I was kind of like, well, maybe it's better I don't spend the money, but I noticed that they had the blowback sniper deluxe figure on sale for $30. So I'm going to be doing a video on this guy, and but when I saw that one was for $30, I thought, I'm going to tack on this guy and see what I can see. So here we are. And I have to say that all of the issues that we have had, that I've talked about, that others have reviewed, are not present with this particular figure that I have. So I'm very pleased with that. So hopefully, maybe I just got lucky. I've really never had any issues with any Action Force figure of any series that I have purchased. So I was really surprised with Series 5, but all of that seems to be gone with this figure. There's good tightness everywhere. There's no split in the shoulders. The head bobble on the neck joint is a lot better. It's not as loose. Everything is very tight. The tolerances are tight, and there's no wrist peg swivel. There's no wobble. No issues with the hip joints. The knees are not loose or anything like that. They're a little tight. They're always a little tight, but everything for the most part is really good. So I'm very pleased overall with this particular figure. So this is the package, of course, coming with the Series 5 colors, which I like. Comes with 2 action points, and if you want to pause the video, you can and read the card. But I'm going to leave it right here because my backdrop is blue and largely the same color, so I don't want to wash this guy out. So on a whole, I like the idea of a naval theme for Action Force. I was kind of wondering if that is even feasible within the lore of the story, considering it's basically the fall of America and different factions and everything. I don't know how many naval battles you would get into, maybe some river battles, that sort of thing. But I picked up one of those Fortnite boats at Ollie's a year and a half ago for cheap, and because I wanted to have something for my buddy Shipwreck and Torpedo and all of my Navy SEALs to fight off eels and all that kind of stuff. So there is no gear pack for this particular figure, no color scheme. I'm really kind of surprised at that. I figured they would probably have a blue, the new Recon Corps gear pack. I figured they could have just made a blue version of that one, and I would have purchased it, and I think it probably would have gone really well with this particular figure. But as it turns out, I have several of these Arctic gear packs left over that I have dyed and repainted and things like that, because I wanted to give my boy Shipwreck a little something, a little extra. And so this is something that I dyed blue and added some paint and everything. So I'm going to be taking this guy off and adding it to this guy and seeing what he looks like. and showing it off. So there are options for some gear packs for these guys if you are into customizing. Unfortunately, you can't find the Arctic gear pack. That's not being offered anywhere. I think you can get it on eBay for like 50 bucks, which is ridiculous. But as it turns out, I have an extra one that I'm going to be dyeing. I was wondering what to do with it. Dye it black, you know, hadn't made up my mind yet, but now I'm going to do another naval theme, and this guy's going to be wearing it. So anyway, he comes with what we're used to with these particular figures. So he has a light-skinned and dark-skinned face, the balaclava head. He has a pair of fists. He has the trigger finger hand and the open cupping hand with right and left. And then he comes with the C grip hands, so that's fine. And he comes with, I always forget this, he comes with the new Rocky tan colored stand. I'm surprised they didn't make this guy blue. Or give us the old deck plate. That would have been kind of cool, considering he's supposed to be a maritime. Yeah, color that blue. That would have been kind of cool instead of just giving us the desert tan one. But and then he comes with this cool. I really like this particular SBR. So with a faux suppressor on it and the drop down magazine and everything. So pistol brace. It's a very solid pistol, you know, and short barrel rifle. So articulation is exactly what we've come to expect. Now, like I said, he has the new neck, and he can look up with the disc hinge. Okay, and so he has the new neck, and he can look up that far, and then he can look down that far. So really good range of motion. And as I've detailed in other videos, some of these new necks are a bit wobbly, real kind of loose. I mean, they don't flop around, but it doesn't take much. So this one is really good. I feel like they really, they did something. They updated it, got the tolerances right. And so there's a little more, you know, it kind of just, it feels more solid. I guess that's all I can really say. The butterfly joints are always really good on Action Force. That's something that I really like. I can take it or leave it with regards to butterfly joints, but I have to say that Action Force just does it really well. Pretty good T-pose, except on this arm, there is some of the plastic right there is it's raised too much. So it does not want to go. So I'm going to have to sand that down to get a little more range of motion. It's very stiff even on both arms, but you can probably tell it's a little lower on this side, so I can get a T-pose. So I'm gonna have to do a little tweaking there. That's not too bad. Really good diaphragm. He goes forward that far, back that far, you know, waist swivel, diaphragm swivel. Really good bicep joints. Everything's pretty tight, no loose. Now, something that with these arms, I've also seen a, you know, kind of little wobble, little space in the elbow here. Double jointed as we're used to, as well as pinless, yeehaw. But the elbow, hardly, there's not much wobble. So really happy about that. Same for the right arm, hardly anything there. So good range of motion. I do like the look of these particular arms, and it's just we're kind of seeing a little too much of them this early. I know there's pretty much all these different repaints and everything, but I don't know. I would have preferred with some of these kind of troop builder figures I would have been fine with reusing some of the other parts from earlier waves, you know, mix and match, you know, like these new arms with old legs or new legs with old arms or something. I mean, maybe they tried it out and it just didn't look right, but I mean, use everything. You don't just give us the same thing over and over again just because it's new. I mean, you've got plenty of other parts. So utilize the full catalog and see what looks good, and then go from there. So, okay. He kicks up a little past 90 degrees. I think this guy has drop down hips, but they're so tight that I do not want to I mean, I don't want to damage it. I don't want to break anything. So I'm just kind of, you know, there's a, I mean, you can kind of see it there. I just may have to heat it up a little bit. I'm not a big fan. You've heard me say this before if you watched any of my other videos. Drop down hips don't really do it for me. I take it or leave it. I feel like they only really belong on agile characters like, you know, Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, Daredevil, that sort of thing. But knees double jointed, pretty good. I didn't have to heat this guy up. I guess I thought I was going to have to, but I think we're okay. I mean, the lower leg is a bit stiff, but nothing to complain about. And yeah, so I am working out the drop down hips. Like I said, it just kind of looks a little weird on these military figures having drop down hips. Let's see, and the new shin swivel, so which I think is really cool. They have different shins that can be replaced that have pant legs that are tucked into the boots or over the boots, so that's pretty cool. That way you don't lose any articulation with figures like say the trigger reissue or the undercover condor, some of the other like series 1 figures, they did not have shin swivels because their pant leg came over their boots or their shoe, that sort of thing. So good range of motion on the feet. I do like the design of these feet. They kind of look like running shoes to me, not necessarily military boots, but I think they do look cool. And I've always thought it was cool that Valaverse actually goes the extra mile and gives us tread on the bottom of the shoes. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, so that's the articulation of the, you know, in the wrist swivel. So it was really good. No floppiness here. No floppiness here. So they got that taken care of. So yeah. All right, so that's the figure. And we talked about the accessories and everything. I'm gonna pause the video for a second and get the, I'm gonna take this off a shipwreck here and throw it onto this guy and show you guys what that would look like. So, all right, stick around. Okay, so here he is all geared up with my customized Arctic gear pack. Like I said, I dyed it blue, added some paints to kind of zhuzh up my my buddy Shipwreck here, doing a little customizing, but it works really well. Fits on the classified, fits on this guy. He's still a little warm, so the joints are a little spongy right now, but I think this is a med kit that slips on over the leg, no trouble. What I do, and I've talked about this in another video, I like the fact that the vests for Action Force have pegs and you can peg them on and off and all that. I really wish Classified would do something like that. And this is I really like this particular style of vest as opposed to, say, the Steel Core vest. It fits a little more snug as opposed to this one that has a little more give to it. And the new Recon Core is pretty good, but on a whole, I like this one better. So I really wish and hope that they release the Arctic Gear Pack or something that is a little more snug. And I think the magazine pouches on the new Recon Gear Pack are a little too big, so it kind of gets in the way of posability if you're wanting your figure to you know, do a, you know, crossbody, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, so what I do to get the pegs, because like I said, I've had trouble. If you can get it on, but because it's so flush fitting, it's not always, you can't always get the pegs to, you know, sometimes I've used tweezers, but that can potentially scratch the back of the figure. Maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe don't worry about that. But what works for me, and I did it with this figure, and I've done it with some others, is I do a boil and pop, and I take the upper torso off. So the upper torso, and then I put in the head. You got to take the head off. Take the head off and the upper torso off. Put the vest on it, and then line up the pegs. It will seat properly. It gives you a little more, because it's hanging over the bottom portion of the top torso. You can more easily peg the vest closed. So, and then while it's still warm, you can pop it back into the lower torso and you're off to the races. And of course you can put this belt on. You'll need, you know, take the torso off, put the belt on, and it fits really snug. And I actually like this belt system better than the new Recon. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just the problem with it, I think, is that it comes down too low, and the holster for that Recon, it's on the left, and it hinders some movement. So this one is just a better system in my opinion. But I get it. You want some new things, some variability. Of course, I've taken the Arctic and painted it and done some little custom work and all that. But so yeah, this is going to be my Maritime Core Trooper, and I really like it. I'm going to give this guy a warp factor of 9. I'm really glad that it seems as though the QC issues are gone away, and I think buyer beware, as of course all the time. But I'm hoping everybody else, if you've been on the fence, maybe you'll have better luck, and with this guy too. And I might pick up a couple of more. I haven't heard yet from Valaverse how the tariffs are going to affect anything. I know that in a previous email during that whole Wounded Warrior sale and the exclusive, sale for the new Steel Brigade figure, or is it Steel Corps? I'm sorry, I can't keep it straight. But he said in the previous email that they would be getting a new shipment in April. Here we are, pretty much in the middle of April. I'm wondering how the tariffs are going to be affecting these guys. Bobby Vala, he actually has dropped the price before to below $30. I think when the line started, it was above 30. Now it's below 30. So we'll see. I'm sure he's probably crunching the numbers, and we will get an announcement soon as to how things are going to be affecting us and in his line and his business and everything. So hopefully this whole trade war thing will get straightened out, and we can get things back to normal-ish. But at any rate, this particular figure is currently on the Valaverse website for, I think, $20, $19.99, and nothing has gone up yet. And just for giggles and grins, I'm going to, if you have any extra Marvel Legends, if you want to personalize this guy, I'm not a big fan of this Wolverine unmasked head from I think this is from the Secret Wars, but it fits fairly well and is pretty good in scale, so I might keep. That's another display option. He looks good as an Action Force hero. Or you can you take your Hugh Jackman, if you got the Hugh Jackman Wolverine head, or Logan head. That fits fairly well too. It's they're both a little loose, but yeah. I don't waste not, want not, in my opinion, and I certainly prefer unmasked to masked. So I really wish that Classified would give us like an unmasked Beachhead and a few other figures that like Shockwave that we've never seen unmasked before. So Storm Shadow, most he's at the top of the list. So anyway, don't mean to ramble, but thanks for listening. This is the Maritime Core Trooper, Warp Factor 9. And let me know what you think in the comments. I will see you on the next one. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It certainly helps me with the algorithm and growing the channel and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, let me know how you are doing, what you think. Do you have this guy? Have you passed on it? Are you waiting and seeing and all that kind of stuff? I completely understand. But until next time, guys, take care.